So hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're doing extremely well, and this is your very own mascot at this side. And without wasting any time, let's continue our placement series of DSA. Right? This is your lecture 2. Right? In lecture 1, we studied about flowcharts and pseudocodes. Right? These were the main topics we covered in lecture 1. Right? All right. If you remember, I have given you homework for including both the questions, like both the topics, flowchart and pseudocodes. There were multiple questions. I hope you have solved it. And if you were not able to solve any of the question, you know where to contact me. There is my Discord server. You can message me there. There is my LinkedIn. You can message me there. Right. There is my Instagram. You can message me there. And there is my YouTube comment section. You can message me there. I will surely get back to you. Right. So there are four options visible to you. You can use any of them. I will be happy to reply on any of the platform. I'm not biased towards anyone. Right? So this will be your second lecture, and today you should be excited. Why? Because you are going to write your first C++ program. Yes, you heard me right. You will be doing coding actual in the life, right? Okay. So if you remember in lecture 1, we left at a topic that why do we need programming language? Like, what is the need of programming language, right? So we discussed that suppose you are encountered with a problem statement. Okay, you have encountered with a problem statement, right? And you are an intelligent person, so you discovered your solution in the mind, right? You have a solution, but the problem is that it is in your mind, right? Now, to make it accessible to different people, or to make it accessible for the different generations that will come, you will have to note it down somewhere, right? That this is the algorithm, we will be solving this question like this, right? Etc, etc, right? So you will be writing on a rough sheet. You will be writing your code. What is that code? That is flowchart or pseudocode. That is rough code, which is both of these options. First is flowchart, second is pseudocode. We have discussed them thoroughly in the lecture one. So if you want, you may please go, right, and the link should the playlist link is also provided in the description as well, right? Now, after this, can I put now what is the need for programming language was that suppose you have been given 5 into 10, right? You say it's 50, right? You have been given 25 into 25, you will say it 25 square 625, right? Okay, but if I give you 1 2 3 7 9 4 5 square, can you tell me this? You will require some time. Yet you can solve it, but you will require some time. What is the need for computer first say? So computer helps us do the task more efficient and more quickly, right? So computer also need to get instructions, right? So if I don't tell you what is this, what you have to do with this number, you don't know what to do, right? So computer also need to be communicated that listen, that your work is this and you have to do this, right? So in that terms, we have to do something that computer understands. Like a final goal is to tell computer its actions, like what should it perform, right? Now, to tell computer what should it perform, we will have to convey the message in the form that computer understands. Now, you might be knowing that computer understands machine language. Machine language. Machine language is a language that is formed only from zero and ones, right? Either you can provide zero or you can provide one. That is a machine language, right? Do you know this language? No. Again, a problem. If you don't know this language, how will you tell the computer, right? So what we will do is we will write this rough code into a structured code, right? Into a high level language code. In this case, we will in this series we will talking about C++, right? And this is your code. This is your official code that will work, right? But there is still a problem that C++ is not equivalent to machine language. Is not equivalent to machine language. The problem is still arise. So what did we do? We included a compiler in between, right? So what does we do? We provide the C++ code to compiler, and this compiler turns that C++ code into machine language code, and that machine language code is fed into the computer does all the transactions and provides us the desired output, right? So we will revise again. We had a problem statement in our hand, we formulated the solution in our mind, we jotted down rough solution for that in the rough sheet. Now, the compiler, it is not possible that compiler understands all of your language, right? Compiler is also a machine. So compiler said, see, machine language is way too tough to understand. So what you do is you understand C++ language, that you learn the syntax of C++ language. Syntax means rules, right? You learn the set of rules of C++ language because that would be easier for you. You convert your rough code into C++ code. Now, assign me the task that I have to convert this C++ code into machine language code. I will do that for you happily. We say, thank you, compiler. So here's the C++ code. Please convert it into machine language code and fed it to the computing machine, and the computer will tell us the correct answer, right? So this is the need for programming language to convey our messages not to the computer. The computer is an indirect, like it is a final name, but not going directly to the computer. We're going through the compiler. So compiler is acting like a translator for us, right? Compiler is acting like a translator for us, right? So I hope you are clear with this. Let's move on in the lecture. Right. Now I said syntax, right? So I think you might have got that if we have to fed something into the compiler, we have to learn C++ first. And learning C++ means we have to learn its syntax, that how are things going in the C++ and how do we have to write it into C++, right? All right. So let's go towards that. So I will have to write my syntax on a on some platform, right? On some platform. Now, what is the platform called? What is that platform called? In terms of computers or in the cyber world, the platform is called IDE. That is Integrated Development Environment, right? So we will take up one by one. Integrated. That means all the functionalities that you would be requiring are integrated on the one platform, right? Development is code development, right? You have to write the code. Environment, you know what is the meaning of environment. So the this means we have developed, we have integrated, we have picked up all the things that you will require to write your code, run your code, test your code, and we have put it in on a single, let's say, code editor, on a code editor, and that code editor is known as IDE. There are multiple code editors available in the market, such as a code editor for only Python. Python is a programming language. Is PyCharm. Like when I was doing coding in Python, I use PyCharm, right? I like PyCharm. Then I learned Java for a minute because my college recommended me. So I learned IntelliJ IDEA. But I was very much into CP, so I learned C++. And C++ runs best on VS Code. Actually, if you will use VS Code, the code editor, you will realize that it is better than PyCharm. It is better than IntelliJ IDEA, right? So I will recommend you to download VS Code. We will not be providing you with the installation instructions. I think that you are sufficient enough to go to the YouTube and download it on your own, right? For the tutorial series, I will be using Replit, right? Replit is an online platform to write the code. So you can also create your Replit. You can sign in and create a C++ template and then start coding, right? But I will be using C++ Replit to use show you the how to code, right? All right. So let's juggle things up and make you write the first code, right? So if you remember, while completing the flowchart series, like we were making any flowchart, our flowchart was starting with start. How many of you remember? Please raise your hand in the comment section. Start. What does start mean? Start means that be alert, the code is about to start. That this is a starting point. This start indicating the starting point of the code, right? Similarly, in C++, this start is known as int main, right? Int main marks the starting of your code. Int main marks the starting of your code. Let's see what is the meaning of each word. Int. What does int satisfy? Int says that I will be returning int. I will be returning an integer. I will be returning an I will be returning an integer. For those of you who are not able to understand where will you return integer, etc., etc., leave that for a while. Just listen to me, right? Main. Main is my name of function. Name of my function. Now these parentheses are actually part of syntax. Syntax is set of rules. Part of syntax, And what does this parenthesis signify? This signifies that main is a function used to set used to signify the function, right? Now these curly braces, they determine the scope of code, scope of functions code to be precise, that this function main, which is returning an integer, has your code, this code, right, that will be written in this area between these two curly braces belongs to this main, right? These curly braces are marking the starting and ending point of the code of the main function, right? So I hope that is clear to you. So let's go to Preplit and write your first code, right? So we just declared the start. We just declared the start. So I think that it is visible to you. So I will be writing int main. Like there is a run option here. I will run it. You say that it run, right? If I clear the history and run it again, you see that it has run fine. Let me zoom it in a little. It has run fine, but I'm not able to see output. If I'm not able to see any output, there is no function for coding. If I'm not able to see any output, there is no function for coding. So I will have to use a print function to print something, right? Whenever you want to print, we were printing it with the help of an print box, right? An input output box, that is a parallelogram, right? If you remember the flowchart. So I will have to print. Now this print functionality is included in a file cout. That is, suppose you have to print my name, that is masked, right? So if you want to print mask, you will print cout these two arrows or the comparators or anything you want to say, and then masked. This line will print masked on my terminal. What is a terminal? Terminal is this part, right? This part. This is a terminal, right? So I will clear the output, clear the history, sorry, and I will say cout masked. And now I will put a semicolon. What is this semicolon signifying? Semicolon is signifying that this line is completed. We have completed the code for this line, that this is marking the ending of a line. Okay. So let's run it. Oh, there is an error. What does the error say? Use of undeclared identifier cout. What does that mean? The error means that you have used cout, right? You have used cout. But I don't know what is cout. I don't know what is cout. You will say, Mas, are you kidding with us? You recently said that cout is for print. And C++ terminal is saying that use of undeclared variable cout. And you are saying that terminal doesn't know about cout. I say yes, cout is a valid keyword, but cout implementation, that it has to print etc is implemented in a file. That file is iostream. So the terminal wants me to include this iostream file, to include this file which has the implementation of cout, right? So to include this file, I will do, the syntax says that you will put hashtag first, write include, and in this type of brackets, the angular brackets, write the name of the file. So my file name was io stream, right? Let me zoom it in a little for you, right? Io stream. I say that this should work now. Let's try to compile and run it. If I run it, it says again an error. It says use of undeclared identified cout. That is same. But it says, did you mean std cout? Now what is the meaning of std here? You see the error is different here, right? The error here is different from this error. It says, do you mean std cout? So let us take an example, right? So I hope you all have gone to the schools, right? So in your school, let's assume there are 35 students, right? There are 35 students. And let's say take a common name, like Rahul is a common name, right? So this is my class, right? This is my class. Here is the teacher standing. Here are the these are the children, right? These are the children. These are children sitting. Forgive me if they are not exactly 35, right? Now, this has happened many times that, sir, dance teacher is calling Rahul. Sir, cricket teacher is calling Rahul. So, two persons come. Person A, person B. Person A says the cricket teacher has called Rahul. Person B says the dance teacher has called Rahul. Now, because Rahul is a common name, there are four Rahuls. One is sitting here, one is sitting here, One is sitting here, one is sitting here. Roll number of this Rahul is 1, roll number of this Rahul is 2, roll number of this Rahul is 3, roll number of this Rahul is 4, right? So now the confusion arises. If he is asking for Rahul, is he asking for first Rahul, second, third, fourth? If he is asking for dance to Rahul, first, second, third, fourth, which one? It might be possible that both teachers are calling Rahul same Rahul at same time, right? So how do we do that? So if instead of the name I would have assigned second Rahul or third Rahul, call them. So what will they say? A will say, sir, please send Rahul whose roll number is 3, right? Also roll number is 2. And B will say, please send Rahul whose roll number is 3, dance teacher is calling, right? Similarly, in C++, there are multiple files like include. This is IOStream, right? There are multiple implementations, right? There are multiple implementations. IOStream contains multiple implementations of cout also. So he wants to ask, which one do you want to use? Do you want to use first implementation, second implementation, third implementation, fourth implementation? So we will be using the standard implementation. Standard implementation, and to mark the standard implementation, we will be including using namespace std, that use a standard, use the std namespace. This naming, so roll number 3, roll number 2, roll number 4 is named as namespace. So here we will be doing is, after including iostream, we will be saying using namespace std. Now the code should run fine. It is taking yeah, if you see, it is printing masked. So congratulations, instead of masked you should have printed your own name, because give yourself some priority also, right? And this was your first code, right? Now I said, while coding I said int will return integer, right? So it is a common practice to use int main, and we will be return 0. Don't ask me what is this return doing, what is that, is not necessary, but I will be telling you in the further lectures, because if I tell you right now you will get confused, right? So run. Both of the outputs are same, but this output is more good, because the code written for this output, the downwards output, is better than this one. Because here the syntax was something wrong, because it returns 0, but it turned fine. See, compiler is smart, right? Let us delete the history. Now, if I say I want to print mask 2 times, so what you will say? So because you are intelligent, you will say use of cout again. So I will say cout mask, and I will say run. If I run this, what is the output? The output is mask. There is no space. There is no next line. Like I wanted to print mask here, right? And then second mask here. But it is not happening. Why it is not happening? In C++, you have to provide that you have to give a next line. For that, you have endl. What do you mean by endl? It is a keyword you can use. So you can, if I type cout endl, now see what the output is. So it was no spaces, no line, right? It is new spaces, new line, right? So endl is used to mark a new line. Just keep it down, right? Like I'm sure that you are making notes. So right, let me change the ink. Endl is used to mark or make new line, right? So if I implement this cout endl once again, right? Like if I write this once again like this, what will happen? So one more line will appear. Let's see. So masked, first line break, then second line break, then simple masked, right? If I do it for third, sorry. So it is masked, one line break, second line break, masked. So instead of implementing cout endl here, there is one more syntax you can do. After mask, put these two brackets again and write endl. The output will be same. See guys, the output will be same as above, right? Both the outputs are same number of lines left, right? Cout endl. If you don't want to use endl, and God knows why, I find it very interesting to use endl, there is also one more provision made for you, that is cout backslash n. Backslash is present right above your enter keyword. And if you will print this, one more line will be given because I used four line spaces, right? So you can see that the space is actually increased because of one line more. So one, two, three, and here it was one, two, right? All right. So see out minus backslash n. So we can mention that backslash n is used to mark same thing used to make new line. It is known as new line character. New line character, right? All right. So let us discuss what we have learned up till now. We have discussed that the code looks like include iostream. This is hashtag, sorry. Using namespace std, right? Then int main parenthesis curly braces, uh, any code like let's say cout only, cout mask, right? And then return 0. I'm not mentioning endl here because it's not ready right now. You can put it your wish, right? So let's discuss what is each statement doing. So include is telling me to include the file name mentioned after it. So what is the file name mentioned after it? iostream, right? These brackets are the syntax, right? Using namespace std. This line is marking me that I have to use the standard namespace. Use standard implementation or standard namespace, right? Standard implementation or namespace, right? Int main. Int is mentioning me the return type. If you see, we are turning 0. 0 is an integer. That is what int is representing. Returning return type. Main is my function of is my main function's name. Syntax. These braces include the scope of variable or scope of function, right? Cout used to print. This is a syntax. String to print. That what I want to print. I want to print my name. Yeah, that is not my actual name. That is name of the channel. Return 0 to mark the ending. You can say to mark the ending of the function. To mark the ending of the function. All right. So I think you have understood what is the structure of the code really looks like. If you understand that, so the things will get easy for you. But if you don't, please I will request you to skip back and like go back, rewind the video and watch it again because this is a pretty basic thing. I think that you have learned it right. Now moving forward, we have understood about print. Now our next definition is we have to learn about comment. We have to learn about comment. I have to learn about comment. So what is a comment? Comment is a non-executable code, right? Non-executable code. Suppose I show you here that I want to print cout coder, right? And semicolon. Never miss a semicolon. Like this is your learning days, so please don't miss a semicolon. Be good about your coding skills, right? So mask coder, right? Mask coder and then mask again, right? So I think that I write it on a mistake and I want to delete this line, but I can use it in future also. So I'm two way that should I delete it, should I keep it, what should I do? So I will say I should comment it. Now what is the comment? The code is written there, but it will not be executed. So compiler will tell the machine that this code does not need to be executed. It is just mentioned for the sake of it, right? So comments can be used for two things. What thing? It can be used to tell what is this function or what is this line doing. So I can tell this line is printing my name. So you can see the below line is printing mask, that is my name, right? Or you can just to skip a line executing the code, you can just comment it down, right? So to put a comment you have to put double slash, right? You can just put double forward slash and that line will be commented. or a shortcut for you because you are my subscriber and you are my watcher. And if you're not subscribed, this trick is not for you. And if you're subscribed, this trick for you. So if you want to get this trick, subscribe to my channel first, right? Comment, select all this, select the lines you want to comment, right? Press control and press forward slash. You will see all the lines get commented, right? This is a shortcut for you whoever wants to take it. I was joking. If you're not subscribed, then also please take it. That will be a pleasure, right? Okay. So I'll say that okay, mass, you are printing mass. But our aim was that I want the computer to do anything like when we were drawing flow charts, right? If you read, so this box was used for two purposes. It was used for printing. We discussed printing. We know about C out, but things are getting boring. I want to print dynamically. I say, what do you mean by dynamically? You say that I want to take input and then print that. Oh, I say that you are getting way ahead, bro. So I'll say that okay, sir. I will complete your demands. So if you are worried about the code, don't worry about it. I will be providing the codes, like commented out codes only in the GitHub as usual, so you can check it out from there. So now talking about inputs, talking about inputs. So you can see the comments and come in very handy, right? So as we use C out here, C in is also used. C out means to print, C in means to take input, C in. Now, what do I have to see in? I have to see in A something, right? I have to see in. So, in C in, I mean, like you are saying that input, take your input. I say, all right, I took my input. But where should I keep it? Where should I keep it? So, you will say, okay. So, you will say, take a container, like you are saying that take rice from me, right? And give me rice back. I'll say that doesn't work like that. You have to give me rice in my container, right? Rice in my container. And then I will use that container to give you rice back, right? This operation we have discussed, C out. This operation is C in. But what the thing I wanted to tell you about is this container. You have to declare a container first. So to declare a container, we will be teaching about talking about variables further also. I will say that suppose I'm taking an string. So string means anything that like this, anything within a double quotes, right? String s. So string container, right? String container, right? So I will say c in container. Now anything you will write to me, anything you will write to me will get stored in the container, right? So for proof, if I get c in container, let's say c out container, and print I have got this as input, right? Let us mark it and enter apply. Let us run it. Let us delete the history and let us run it. Now, C in asks a container. So suppose your name is Rahul, a very common and very beautiful name. So Rahul, enter. Oh, it says Rahul. I have got this as input. Okay, so first of all, what did happen? Let me run it again for you. If I run it and say Rahul, Rahul, I have got this as input. This Rahul is an input that is provided by Cin, taken by Cin and put it into the container. So my container actually gets Rahul, and Cout uses that container to actually output Rahul, which is this one. And then the next line that I have got this as input. I have got this as input, right? So I think we are clear up till now. We have understood input, output, and we have understood how to write the code, what is the structure of the code, right? So let's move forward and let's discuss an important topic, that is data types and variables. Data types and variables. See now, guys, my approach of teaching is slightly different. When I was getting taught or I was learning something, the YouTubers or the books used to tell me that they are these data types, they are primitive, non-primitive, derived, etc., etc. I will not tell you that. I will just tell you what is the meaning of data type, what is the meaning of variable, and how to use them. Why? Because DSA requires that knowledge only. It doesn't care about that you have primitive, you have non-primitive, you have derived, you have your user defined, nothing like that works, right? No one asks you. See, if you are preparing for an interview, that is a different thing. I think that that is too basic for an interview also, so that you don't need to learn that, right? You will learn that over the course of the time. So data types and variables. So suppose I write int marks equals to 90. Let us divide this. Let us divide and conquer this. What is int? As discussed in int main, int is representing integer. What is marks? As explained in input, this marks is actually representing the container. And this is my value. Nothing to be afraid of that. This is my value. So what I'm doing is this integer is actually data type. That you see that it is very simple to understand. Integer in short form in C++ is written as int. And this int is a data type. That's all. Nothing else is data type. Right? This container has a fancy name called as variables. Nothing else. This container has a sweet name variable. I don't know why they don't mention container, why they're mentioning variable. Maybe variable strike them first, right? Okay. This is the all journey of data types and variable. We will just dive deep into it, right? And you need not to be scared about it because this is very easy topic, right? This is the value. So what I'm doing is, so I will tell you one of the fact that this integer data type takes some size, right? So everything happening does require size, right? It requires some memory of computer to be stored. So this data type takes a size of 4 bytes, right? Now I'm sure that you know what is a byte. 1 byte is equals to 8 bits, right? And what is stored in bits? A bit stored either 0 or 1, right? I'm sure you know about that stuff. All right. So integer size is 4 bytes. 4 bytes means 4 into 8 bits. Am I correct? That is 32 bits. That is 32 zeros or 32 ones or combination of zeros and ones in 32 bits, right? So when I say int marks equals to 90, this line creates a block of memory in my computer memory of size. What is the size of this? It is 4 bytes. That is 32 bits, right? Int marks equals to 90. This block is named as marks. Like you are a human, but what is your name? Your name is Rahul. So you are a human, you are taking a memory of 4 bytes, and your name is Rahul. That is, your variable is Rahul. You will be referred to your name. You will be referred this memory space. This memory space will be referred by the name marks, right? This has been assigned a name. That is very simple. And what is stored here? The value stored here, that is 90. This stores the value 90. Am I clear, guys? Am I clear? Are there any doubts? Are there any doubts? I don't think so because I explained it very, like, it doesn't require even that much time, right? Okay. Now, there are many different types of data, right? It can be 1.1, it can be a, it can be capital A, it can be 1, it can be a number that is very much greater, it can be a number in the decimal points only that can be very much greater. So C++ and mostly all other programming languages offers me a great deal of data types, that is many data types. Let us encounter them one by one. So if I provide you the list, we have talked about integer, right? Talked about integer. Second, char. What is char used to store? Char is used to store characters. Right? B, C, D, E, F, G. Also one. One is also character, guys. It is not an int. Anything mentioned inside the single quotes is a character, right? And anything mentioned inside the double quotes is a string. What is a string? String is a collection of characters, right? Okay, so let me make the mark string here. This is not third data type, right? I'm just marking string here because I will have to tell you string. What is a string, right? Char. Third is, we discussed about 1.1. So that type of values will be stored in the data type known as float. Fourth, if I want to store an integer that is very, 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 very big, I will use long. Now you will ask me how much big is very, 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 very big. I'll say that you will have to wait. We will discuss in this lecture only that how much is very, very, very big, right? Fifth is double. So suppose for integer it was long. For float it is double, right? This only you have to understand. And one more, sixth is boolean. Have you ever encountered? Have you ever seen a court movie, right? Like I saw Shivaji the Boss, and it was saying that, did you give bribe to the any labor, right? He was giving the explanation. He said yes or no. I only asked about yes or no, right? So he was asking for a boolean data type. The boolean data type only returns either yes, true, or false, right? Any value from minus infinity to positive infinity, excluding zero, minus zero, evaluation true. That is minus one is also true, minus two is also true, one is also true, two is also true, 100 is also true, minus 100 is also true. And only value zero means false. Only zero means false, either everything means true, right? This is for boolean. Now they acquire some size. As we discussed, integer requires 4 bytes of size, right? Similarly, character requires 1 byte of size, that is 8 bits. Float, 4 bytes. Long, 8 bytes. This I don't know because I don't have need it. So if you want it, you should have to search to Google Baba, right? All right. So these are the sizes, and let's talk something etc. about them. So I told you that integer has 4 bytes, char has 1 byte, float has 4 bytes, long has 8 bytes, and you believe me. What type of engineer are you? So if you believe me that if I am lying to you, what would happen? Is it my loss? Yes, I will lose viewers and I will lose your support. But it is also your loss because you will answer wrong in the interview, right? So you will have to check it using the program because we have got computer with us. So suppose I say int number equals to 5. Now I want you to tell me the size of this. You will say 4 bytes. I will say no. The terminal has to tell me the size of it. You will say print 4. I'll say no. Use an function. So C++ is such a good language that it provides us with that also. It is taking the strict teachers like me and it will say C out size of number. This will tell me what is the memory block size of the variable we are looking for, and it will tell me the answer in bytes. So it should print 4, and it is printing 4. So am I correct? I told you 4 and it is printing 4. I am correct. Similarly, if I tell it for char, so char is declared as char. Char means a character. So character alphabet, let's say alphabet, and assign it as A, right? C out size of alphabet, right? You can see that when I was not completed with alphabet, it mentioned alphabet. This is known as auto completion, right? This is known as auto completion. This is the beauty of programming, right? You take one step and it is ready to help you. So 4 1, why it is printing 41? It is not printing 41, it is printing 4 then 1, right? So if I use endl, it will print 4 then 1, right? All right, moving on. Our next data type was float. Used to store, oh sorry guys, used to store floating point numbers, that is points with decimal in them. So float, oh sorry, not float, it will be this float. Let's say, let me make it as a only. Let me name it as a. That is a bad practice. I will tell you in some time. And let's say C out, also C out ender here also. So I will be doing ender here only. C out size of, what size of a? Okay, run. What should it print? What should it print? It should print 4 1 4. Okay, I'm correct again. Let's move another one. Long. Let's move it for this. So long. Let's say b equals to 1 2 3 4. Now I said that long is storing an integer very big. Is 1 2 4 3 very big? No, it will be stored in integer also. So why are you storing this? Long can be stored to store the small integers also, and very big also. Okay. So let us see C out size of b. Now tell me, size of b should be greater than a size of number, or should be smaller than size of number, or equal. So if you apply your mind, I say that long is used to store very big integers, right? Which cannot be stored in integer as well. So it will be taking more size. So it should be taking more size. Let us see 4148. Why 48? Because sorry guys, and then missed again. So you can see I'm not a good programmer. You will have to trust me blindly. So 4148, right? And everything up till now is correct. I will not tell you for double. I will just move to bool and let's name it as flag. No, prop, just a flag, right? True. You can save either 1, 2, 3, 4 also or true also. And let's say C out size of flag. Oh, yeah, flag. Let's see what does it outputs. So it outputs 81 because again I not put handle. So sorry for my mistake. And you know what is it really. So it is taking 1 byte size, right? So we come to know that int marks equal to 90 makes a block of 4 bytes, stores 90 in that blocks, and name that block as marks. Right? Does that happen? No, it doesn't happen like that. I was lying to you. 90 is not stored like this. This is correct. This is correct. But 90 is not stored like this. How is 90 stored then? So I told you that computer works with bits. What bits? 0 and 1. Right? Now 4 bytes actually means 8 into 4, that is 32 bits. That means combination of bits, 32 bits, right? Each bit can be either 0 or 1, right? So my 90 is actually stored as binary. I guess all of you know about binary. If no, then I have included that also in my lecture. I will be talking about how to take out the numbers binary. So the process of taking out a numbers binary is very simple. You start dividing it by 2, right? You've got 90 in your hand. You have got 90 in your hand. Divided by 2. What is the remainder? So what is the question? It will be divided by 45, right? And what is the remainder? 0. 45 will be coming here, right? 90, 0, right? Sorry for my mistake. Now this 45 is your next number. So 45, 2. You will be maximum dividing with 22, getting 44, 1 as remainder, right? Divide this 2, 22 by 2, right? 11, am I correct? 22, 0 remainder. Divide this 11 by 2, maximum 5, 10, remainder 1, right? Divided by 2, what divide? 5, okay. Maximum 2, 4, 1, right? Okay. Divide 2 by 2, maximum quotient 1, 2, 0, right? And 1, if you get 1 here, write it as it is here. And now I'll say move backwards. So you will write 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. So your binary equivalent of 90 will be 10110110, 10111010. This is your binary equivalent. That means if you will write 90 in terms of binary, in terms of 0 and 1s, it will be written as 10110110. Right? Now I said that there are 32 bits. There are 32 bits. What is the number of bits here? It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm using 7 bits. That means I'm wasting 32 minus 7, 2, 5, 25. 25 bits are not even getting used. I say yes. That is actually a great deal of waste. But we can't do anything. It works like that. So this number will be stored as 00000, and this 0 will come out to be 25 bits. 25 bits in counting 0, and then this 10111010. This number is actually getting stored in a 4 bytes region. 4 bytes region, and this number is getting marked as marks. That this block is named as marks, right? So I hope you understood how is the number getting stored, right? Now, our next question was how long is long, like how big is very big. For that, I will have to study ranges. Ranges. What is ranges? I am saying that what is the range of int? That how many numbers? What is the maximum number I can store in it? So you will say if I make all of these as one, that is 1 32 times 1, that will be my maximum. The decimal equivalent of 32 times 1 binary is my maximum number. Am I correct? Am I correct, guys? If I make all of them 1, will I get the maximum decimal? You will say yes. So that means 32 times 1. If I convert this into a decimal format, that decimal is such as 90 was here, then I will get the range, right? So I'll say no, that is not as simple. You have to understand how it is working, right? Because you have given me 4 bytes, you could have provided me 3 bytes also. You should be able to answer, right? How is this working? So we will be studying that. Okay. So now why did I say that this is not true? Right? So you will say that this should be true, right? Now the concept of unsigned and signed arises, right? Now what is unsigned and signed? Let me explain you in a very layman terms. So unsigned, positive, negative. Signed, positive, negative. If you see this name and if you see these two, does it matter to you? Unsigned means all of them are positive, right? I care about magnitude, I don't care about the sign. Unsigned means I care about the sign, that if it is -1, it is different from 1, right? So for unsigned, the above thing was true. What was the above thing? That 32 bits, 32 bits, right? 11111 or 000 or any other combination of 32 bits, right? All of them are equal, right? There is no sign, there is no minus. So you cannot inculcate -1, -2 in sign, unsigned, right? Okay, so how many numbers? What is the range of this? So if I take the simple example of 2 bits, if I say that inside of 32 bits you have 2 bits, what are the combinations you can form? 00, 01, 10, 11. Is there any other possible combination? Is there any other possible combination? No. So this number is binary representing 0. This number is binary representing 1. This number is binary representing 2. And this is representing 3. So you see, when we have 2 bits, when we have a size of 2 bits, how many possible numbers we are able to form? 4. That is 2 to the power 2. Correct? And what is the maximum we can reach? Correct? 4 minus 1, right? So if we have 32 bits, we can reach 0 to 2 to the power 32 minus 1. This is a range for unsigned. Let me make it very clear. This is a range for unsigned. We are yet to conclude the range of signed, right? If you have understood unsigned, that how does 2 to the power 32 comes, it is very easy to understand, right? Also, how did I cover 2 to the power 2? You might have said that 4 is equal to 2 into 2 also. Why did you occur 2 into 2? You took 2 to the power 2. Why? Because I studied in 10th class that PNC. How many bits can come here? Either it can come 0 or 1. So 2 bits, right? How many bits can come here? 0 or 1. That is 2 bits. So possibility is 2 into 2. That is 2 square. If I took a third bit, how many bits can come here? 2 bits. So 2 into 2 into 2. That is 2 to the power 3. That is 2 to the power n. Minus 1, I explained why I'm subtracting 1 to get the range, right? So we are clear with the unsigned. It's the sign we have not cleared up. So let's talk about sign. So I say that I have 32 bits, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and up till 32, right? This is my 32nd bit, this is my first bit. Sign says that if you want this to represent a positive number, right, then put 0 here. Sign says that if you want to represent it as a positive number, put 0 here. I say why? I say because I am saying. The sign says because I am saying, that's the rule. Okay, because we are learning the syntax, the other language, we have to follow this rule. I said, what about negative? He says that if you want to put negative, put 1 here. This is for positive, this was a negative. So if it is starting with 0, it is a positive number. These bits are presenting the positive number, right? Or let me mention it as magnitude. So scientist is saying a number is represented as sine into magnitude, right? That is easy to understand. If it is 0, sine is positive. If it is 1, then sine is negative. Magnitude is calculated from these bits, right? So I have 32 bits in total. I secured one bit for sine. How many I'm left with? So I want 32. I gave one to sine. 31 bits are left with me. Now 31 bits are left with me. So my maximum number can be 1 times. That will be, am I correct, guys? Am I correct? Am I correct? Right. So this will be going from 0 to 2 to the power 31 minus 1. But wait, but wait. If I change it to 1, how many numbers can now be formed? How many numbers can now be formed? Again, 2 to the power 31 numbers can be formed, right? 2 to the power 31 numbers can be formed. So now 0 to 2 to the power 31 minus 1, this range has already been covered. This is negative. So now these numbers will cover the range minus 1 to 2 to the power, oh sorry, it would be minus of 2 to the power 31 by minus. You would say, why not minus 1 here? Why not minus 1 here? Because when I was using 0, I had to save one place for this 0. But this 0 has already been covered. So I will start my counting of the negative numbers from this. From this. Right? So I hope you're clear with the ranges. That is not too hard to handle. Okay. Now our question was, what big is very, 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 very big? What how much big is very 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 big? So any number greater than 2 to the power 31 minus 1, that is from range 2 to the power 31 including 2 to the power 31 infinity. Should it be infinity now? Should it be infinity? That is your question. Should it be infinity? No. Why? Because we had long, we would be using long, correct? What is the size of long? 8 bytes. So, as 4 bytes has 2 to the power 31 minus 1, what is the range of 2 to the power 8 bytes? 38 bytes means 64 bits, right? 8 into 8, right? 64 bits means 2 to the power 64 minus 1 can be the maximum number achieved in the terms of long, right? So, if it is in the range 2 to the power 31 till 2 to the power 64 minus 1, I can use long, right? So, we are clear with this concept also. Now, let us just do some thinking. Let us just go through some rules. What rules? I said that marks is the name assigned to that block, right? Now, as a good programmer, you should know what are the rules to name, right? So, see, we are doing the rules only, so we have to look at all the rules, right? So, rules to make variables. Rules to make variables. What are the rules, right? So, my first rule say that it should begin with an alphabet. It should begin with an alphabet. That is A to Z, that is smaller or larger. That is your choice, but it should begin with an alphabet. That is the rule. No argument. Okay. Second, there may be more than one alphabet, but without any spaces between them. There may be more than one alphabet, but without any spaces between them. What I mean by that is AA equals to 1, int AA equals to 1. That is valid. But int AA equals to 1. That is wrong. It is a syntactical error. Your code will output an error, right? You can try. See, don't believe me, try it on your own. That is why that is only the way you can learn. Play with programming, right? Play with programming. Play with programming, right? Tagline for today's lecture, play with programming. And as far as you will play with programming will give you results, right? Third is digits may be used, but only after alphabet. Digits may be used, but only after alphabet. But only after alphabet. What does that mean? That suppose you have to name a variable as a1, a2, a3. That is valid, but you cannot name it as 1a, 2a, 3a. That is not valid, right? Okay. The fourth rule. The fourth rule is says no special symbols are allowed. No special symbols are allowed. Special symbol as in your dollar sign. That the signs above your key in your keyboard above the numbers. That is above one that is exclamation mark. Above two that is at the rate. Above three is hashtag. Above four is dollar sign. Above five is percentile. So on and so forth. Right. Fifth. Yeah. Sorry, I need to add it. Underscore is a valid special symbol. Underscore is a valid special symbol. Like you want to name your variable as a cook. A cook. So it is a valid variable, right? Your fifth step, yeah, so the fifth rule is no keywords or command can be used as a variable name. No keywords. Keywords as in See, C++ has some keywords appointed for it. For example, if is a keyword, right? Int, as we discussed, int is a keyword, char is a keyword, float is a keyword, and there are many other keywords. You cannot name your variable as this. Why? Because observe, guys, it is just a machine. So it has declared somehow. If you declare your variable as if, and you are, oh sorry, int, and you're declaring like you are done int equals to 4. You want it to name as int, right? Suppose you now say int equals to 4. Doesn't make sense, right? Doesn't make sense. So you have been declared, you cannot declare a variable as a keyword name, right? Fifth step is all statements in C++ language are case sensitive. Case sensitiveness. What is the meaning of case sensitive? Do you know about capital A, small a? This A, this B, this C, this C, this D, right? So, sorry, in C++, this A is actually different from this A. This B is actually different from this B. This C is actually different from C. So lowercase letters, lowercase as in this, are different from uppercase. Uppercase as in A, B, C, D, right? So I hope that was clear to you. The rules are pretty much easy, right? So we have just completed the lecture, I guess. The things I designed for today are completed, and I think you have understood it, right? Okay, so we will meet in the next lecture. And again, a request, guys, connect on LinkedIn, connect on Instagram, connect on Discord, connect wherever, but do drop in your activity. It is not for my sake that you are learning from me. It is for your sake. If you will show the world that you are learning something, it attracts interviewers, or it attracts the important people to your profile, and your profile grows. Okay, so comment down in the video if you have any doubts, and go on LinkedIn, go on Instagram, update about what you learned today, and attract more viewers to your profiles and build a connection. Okay, so thank you, have a nice day. We'll meet tomorrow. Yeah, that tomorrow is Monday, so we'll meet tomorrow with a new energy, with a new lecture, and we will go further into programming, and you are achieving the programming state uh, slowly, but you are very close to it. So we are just about to start with arrays, not in the next lecture, but in the next to next lecture, and that is all. So we meet tomorrow. Till then, happy journey, happy coding, and thank you. Have a nice day.